Request.
What's she doing this time?
Deixa lá ver se o som tá bom. Vamos aumentar aqui um bocadinho o som. Bora.
I see. So you believe that this warning letter was sent by the Phantom Weasel?
Absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Phantom Weasel never acts as you expect. He must have faked his own death 10 years ago using a body double. Now that he's back, I'm sure the guards who worked on his case back in the day are in for a headache, but however this turns out in the end, the one thing it won't be is boring.
Couldn't agree more. As a journalist, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of this one.
Querem que eu leia?
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Vou ler. Obrigado pelo seu tempo, senhor. Agora quem devo entrevistar em seguida? Hã? Que coincidência? Como vieram parar aqui? Eu sou muito bom interpretador. Mentira, não sou. Melhor hora é impossível. Então, qual é a opinião sobre a última carta de aviso da Doninha Fantasma? Doninha Fantasma?
This is the first time we're hearing of this one.
Sim, esta é a primeira vez que ouvimos falar disto. Você pode explicar um pouco?
Sorry. Yes, this case is from a decade ago.
Sim, esse caso tem mais ou menos uma década. Acho que você não saberia a respeito.
Well, not to worry.
Bem, não se preocupe. Vocês estão nas mãos de uma profissional. A história é assim.
10 or so years ago, a phantom thief became active in the court of Fontaine.
Vou deixar ela dizer e depois eu leio por cima.
Nobody knew his true identity, and the authorities never managed to catch him.
Há cerca de 10 anos, um ladrão fantasma começou a agir na corte de Fontaine. Conhecido apenas como a Doninha, ninguém sabia a sua verdadeira identidade e as autoridades nunca conseguiram capturá-lo.
Wow, cool!
Uau, que fixe! Ele parece um daqueles ladrões noturnos misteriosos que a gente lê nos romances.
Precisely.
Exatamente. Bem, exceto a parte da boa reputação.
Our weasel targeted whatever people held dear, and no one was safe from his predations.
A nossa Doninha mirava tudo o que as pessoas consideravam valioso e ninguém estava a salvo das suas
He would
investidas.
just as soon steal a necklace from a rich merchant's safe as he would a toy doll given to a
Ele
colored
roubaria
child
tanto
for
um
their
colar de
birthday.
cofre de rico comerciante quanto uma boneca dada a uma criança em seu nível. Meu Deus, que pessoa podre.
I know. The phantom thieves you read about in novels rob the rich to pay the poor.
Pois
But
é,
this
os
guy
ladrões
did not
fantasmas que
discriminate.
aparecem nos romances roubam os
Unsurprisingly,
ricos.
this didn't work wonders
Isso
for
foi
his
só
public
o...
reputation.
Como
Every
é que ele
man
chama?
and his dog wanted to see him behind
Como é que ele
bars.
se chama? Robin dos Bosques. Só foi o Robin dos Bosques, não foi o resto. Os ladrões fantasmas que aparecem nos romances roubam os ricos para ajudar os pobres. Mas esse cara roubava todo mundo. Como era de esperar, sua reputação acabou manchada. E todo mundo queria vê-lo atrás das grades.
Yeesh. So, did they
Então ele
catch
foi
him?
preso? Esperemos que sim.
Not exactly. There's a good chance that the
Provavelmente
weasel
morreu.
would still be at large to this day if it hadn't been for an accident 10 years ago.
Pois, provavelmente morreu. Não exatamente. Existe uma boa chance de que a Doninha ainda estivesse solto até hoje, se não fosse por um acidente há 10
A
anos.
magician named Caesar fell to his death in a botched high-altitude escape performance.
Um mágico chamado Caesar caiu e morreu durante uma apresentação mal sucedida de escapismo em grande
When the
altitude.
police went through his personal effects, they found
Ui.
a hoard of stolen loot and gadgets used for criminal activities.
Ah,
And that was how the Phantom
quando a
Weasel's
polícia
identity
vasculhou os
was
seus
revealed
pertences
to all.
pessoais, encontraram um dos itens roubados e dispositivos usados para atividades criminosas. E foi assim que a identidade da Doninha Fantasma foi revelada.
Sure enough, thefts in Fontaine went down after Caesar's death. But today, 10 years on, the notorious thief has once again issued one of his warning letters and pasted it on the gate of the Opera Epiclese for all to see.
A notória Doninha enviou mais uma das suas cartas de aviso e colou-a no portão de ópera Epiclese para que todos vissem. What?
I had to
Ele
squeeze
só
through the crowd
desapareceu.
this morning to get a photo as soon as I heard. Here, it's this one.
Esta manhã, assim que eu ouvi, eu fui até lá e espremi pela multidão para conseguir uma foto. Aqui está. A trabalheira deste senhor estar a cortar peça a peça de um jornal ou de uma revista para colar na porra de um papel. A trabalheira. É ladrão e é sem tempo.
So, this is the warning letter, huh? Let's see what he wrote.
Vamos ver o que ele
3
escreveu.
days
Pois que eu
from
não
now,
percebi o que
when
estava ali
evening
a dizer.
falls, I shall take from you that which you hold most dear at the opera house, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
Daqui a 3 dias, quando a noite cair, eu tirarei de você aquilo que você mais preza na cabeça. Na casa de ópera, assim como você fez comigo há 10 anos. Quê?
This is, without a doubt, a clear declaration of criminal intent. After years of laying low, the Phantom Weasel
Ele
is
está a dizer que vai
back with a
roubar
vengeance.
alguma coisa preciosa, no caso. Será que ele vai tentar estragar a máquina da justiça? Isso é uma clara declaração de intenção criminosa. Após anos nas sombras, a Doninha Fantasma está de volta e com sede de vingança. Mas ele tecnicamente tinha
What seems
morrido.
like an open and shut case has been blown wide open again. But why has he re-emerged now? And what does he want? I sense an epic scoop.
Esta Charlotte é tipo em feio, não se cala. Esse caso parecia resolvido e agora foi totalmente reaberto, mas porquê a Doninha Fantasma ressurgiu agora e o que ela quer? Sinto que é uma grande reportagem épica e eu estou a ir atrás dela.
Uh-oh. If this thief will steal anything that other people value, does that mean even we might be targeted?
Provável, Paimon. Ela está a perguntar se esse ladrão vai roubar qualquer coisa que as pessoas valorizem, isto significa que até nós podemos ser alvos. Ela pode roubar os lanches. Ela pode tentar pegar você, Paimonzinho.
But Paimon doesn't want to get kidnapped. Well, he'd have to go through you first. You would stop him, right?
Óbvio,
Okay,
Paimon.
the people have spoken. It's clear that the public are very concerned about the Phantom Weasel's reappearance. Let's see, I've got a photo of the letter, my interview notes.
LYNEY.
Yep, that should be enough to form the
Lindo,
skeleton of my
perfeito,
article.
maravilhoso, sem
It
defeitos.
does feel like something is missing, though. Something exclusive. Who should I interview next? I need someone with a more concrete connection to the weasel. Is that who I think it is?
LYNEY.
LYNEY!
LYNEY. LYNEY é tão nome de coelho.
Magic, magician, Caesar! The Phantom Weasel! That's it! Let's go interview LYNEY! You see, the original Phantom Thief Caesar was a magician too! And what do Phantom Thieves and magicians have in common? They both have an air of mystery about
Meu
them.
Deus, lá vai o LYNEY ser
Perhaps
acusado
there's
de
a
ladrão
connection
outra
there.
vez.
Are you serious?
Está-se a repetir a história.
What sort of a deduction is that?
Meu Deus, Paimon, eu concordei contigo pela primeira vez.
Oh, relax. My journalistic instinct tells me that an exclusive news story is beckoning. Let's go. No time for delay.
Bora, bora, bora. Falas muito. Vamos embora. Ladrão esquecido. Ai, LYNEYzinho.
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
Se ele te contar não é um truque, não é, filho? Já não é magia.
Oh, it's simple. Come closer and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy, which means we can read other people's minds.
Really? Then, what am I
mentiroso.
thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that you're clenching your fist in your mind, as if to say, no, I mustn't let him guess it.
Ele é esperto, ele é bom com as palavras.
Aww.
And now you're getting a little flustered. You're trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing at all. But the more you try to hide a secret, the easier it'll come out. You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come
como é que
out
ele sabe?
and play. Now.
You can tell? Oh boy, you really can read my mind.
Of course.
Não, filho, ele se calhar
And
só
that's
sabe
the
de
end of
alguma
my
outra pessoa, mas
performance.
ler a tua mente
You
eu
should really
duvido.
be heading home.
Só se for na
Remember
C6,
to
porque
apologize to
na
your
C0 não é de
family, all right?
certeza.
All right, got it.
Que lindo.
Hey, Linny?
Paimon, agora não vais ler a minha mente, pois não.
Why, hello. We meet again. Are you looking for me? What's
Ah,
the
isso foi
situation?
depois da quest. Ok, faz sentido. Pois, porque só dá para desbloquear a quest depois da Archon.
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
Toma!
Oh, please. You didn't believe that spiel, did you? The
Spiel?
power of telepathy
Damn,
is
nunca ouvi
quite
essa
beyond
palavra.
me.
You don't believe that spiel. Eu não tenho esse tipo de poder.
I'm sure that child would beg to differ. Seemed like you were right on the money.
That was nothing more than a little trickery. I made an educated guess based on his micro-expressions. That, plus the fact that he was the only kid here without his parents, and he looked as guilty as sin. He made it easy for me. You guys, on the other hand, let me guess.
Ui!
Don't tell me you're here for the Phantom Weasel, are you?
Como é que ele sabe?
Wow, got it in one!
A Talia
Is
Charlotte.
this more of your...
Wait, really? No trickery. His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were asking around about that.
Bingo! I plan on writing a column reporting on the latest news about the Phantom Weasel.
Óbvio que ela vai escrever, óbvio.
So, Linny, what are your thoughts on this infamous thief's reappearance?
To be honest, it makes me angry.
Angry? Why?
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights' time at the Opera House. That's the night I'll be performing there.
What?
What are the chances? Wait a minute, you don't think he's after you, do you?
Pois. Aí a Lynette. Lá se vai a Lynette.
Well, if he is, then his warning is clearly a direct challenge to me personally.
Pois.
And if he's not, then it's still going to be a huge headache for me. The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that letter get out, barely anyone will be showing up to watch my show.
Yeah, what the fuck? Literalmente, se o gajinho, o ladrão, publicar uma coisa dessas, pode arruinar praticamente tipo o público dele. Ele pode nem ter público durante a apresentação.
But I've been preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my
Coitado.
big day. This leaves me with only one
Mas
choice.
estou preocupada com a
I
Lynette.
have to expose the Phantom Weasel's identity before
Porque
the show
se ele
begins.
disse que vinha para tirar uma coisa importante, a coisa mais importante para o LYNEY é a Lynette.
Really? So what you're saying is, we might get to see a live duel between a famous magician and an infamous thief? Wow, this has
Infamous thief.
exclusive written all over it.
Esta gaja tem mesmo, esta senhorazita.
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll emerge the victor. The Phantom Weasel is a notorious crook, infamous for his inscrutable methods.
You're being far too modest, Linny. I think your magic tricks are even more inscrutable than those of a thief.
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say, I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without
Não
the
é
person
propriamente uma
noticing.
boa comparação.
But there's an important difference that these people overlook.
Pois, é porque, imagina, os mágicos não estão propriamente a fazer algo mau. Os mágicos estão a fazer uma arte. Estão a criar arte. Estão a, tipo, a apresentarem-se a eles mesmos. Agora os ladrões roubam pessoas. É que uma coisa e a outra nem se comparam. Ok que no sentido de que eles conseguem fazer coisas que as pessoas não percebem, ok. Sim, mas não é uma boa comparação.
Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick.
Por acaso não
Here,
sei se isso na
I have
vida,
a flower,
tipo,
just
no
an
mundo
ordinary
real,
flower that
tipo,
was
isso
picked not long
acontece.
ago.
Nunca ouvi,
Watch it
mas
carefully now.
não duvidava.
3, 2, 1.
It's gone!
That's the question. Where did it go?
No bolso? Dentro da luva?
Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear. If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, There might be a surprise in there somewhere.
Que linda, Charlotte. Ah, tá ali. Como é que ela pôs ali a flor? Ela foi...
It's right
Puf.
there! But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
What an outstanding trick! Sorry, Linny, it seems that my previous praise was woefully inadequate.
Exato.
Clearly, magic is the superior art form to theft.
Exato.
Don't worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to perhaps change some of the preconceived notions you might have about magicians.
Boa, Lini. Fizeste bem, Linei. Eu não sei se lhe chamo Lini, Linei.
A lot of people associate magicians with criminality. It can be quite frustrating.
Coitadinho.
I can imagine. Coming back to your trick just now, might I presume that you are well versed in floral
I can
symbolism?
imagine. Tipo, estou-me a cagar para o que tu estás a dizer. Ah, e o do truque?
For
Meu
example,
Deus.
magicians often use rainbow roses in their flower-related performances to represent passion and romantic encounters. But you used a LYNEY spell, which, if I'm not mistaken, allude to separations. I'm curious to know if there was any deeper...
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're such a successful journalist. But I'm afraid I don't know the first thing about floral symbolism. It sounds like something I should look into, though. I'll buy myself a copy of Fontaine's Floral Language Facts when I have some time. But it'll
Wait,
have to wait
a
until this
flor da
phantom weasel
linete
business is behind us.
significa separação? Isso é um bocado sus. É um bocadinho suspeito, no mínimo. Como é que a flor dela significa separação se eles literalmente tipo, estão sempre juntos? Vem aí treta.
Well noted. In that case, this brings us to the end of our interview. I, for one, am looking forward to the final
A
showdown
rosa do
between you
Lini
and the thief.
significa amor, respeito e blá 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 blá. A da linete é separação.
Please
É
feel
literalmente
free
é
to
o
get in touch to
oposto um do
update me
outro.
on any further developments. Otherwise, I will of course see you at your show in 3 days' time. But let's hope that if there's nothing else, I'll be
Claro
off.
que não vai ser.
You've given me lots to
Eles
work
vão
with here.
esperar
I've got
até
no time to lose if I want to write that
ao
exclusive
show do
piece.
Lini.
I'll see you all later.
Tchau, vai trabalhar.
So, Linny, are you gonna tell us how you did that flower trick now?
I'm afraid...
Aww. Well, magicians are...
Você é
You
chata,
feel
pai.
it too, right? So itchy!
Not so itchy then, huh? Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to serve as my temporary magician's
Oi.
assistants?
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun! Assistants are technically magicians too!
A voz da Paimon pode ser irritante, mas... A voz da Paimon pode ser irritante, mas o coisa dela de... A voice actor dela é muito boa. A voice actor dela é muito boa.
Also, it'll bring us one step closer to figuring out how that darn trick is done! Shall we go for it?
Porque a voice actor dela não tem esta... Não deve ter esta voz assim fininha e... Tipo... Não tem. Tipo, ela deve precisar de fazer tipo um belo esforço para fazer este tipo de voz.
Excellent.
E as
Thank you
entonações
for putting
dela
your
está
trust
muito
in
bom.
moi.
Eu acho a Paimon um bocadinho irritante, mas a voice
The
actor
first
dela é
thing we need to look
muito
into
boa.
is who Caesar really was. If he truly was the Phantom, but if he wasn't the Weasel? Well, that'll make things more interesting. It would mean that the Weasel lives and he's been laying low all this time in some corner of Fontaine. And if we're investigating Caesar, his fiancée Gemma is a good place to start. We should make a move. Let's go and rendezvous with Lynette.
Rendezvous. Rendezvous. Wait, nós ficamos com este. Oh my god. Que cute! Ah, eu tenho isto para gastar. 12 dias, ainda tenho tempo. Onde é que é a quest? Onde é que está? Aqui ao fundo. Onde é que? Vamos dar tipo. Vamos dar um TPzinho.
Over here.
sorry.
It's been a while, Lynette.
Oi, Lynette.
We're working as Linny's temporary assistants in the investigation of the Phantom.
Thank you. It's good to have you helping.
Ai, a voz dela é tão boa. Ai, a voz dela é tão boa.
So, what's the situation? Have you
Bué
seen Gemma?
calma, bué serena, bué... Tipo, oh meu Deus.
Nope. I've been here a while, and she still hasn't shown up.
How bizarre. Maybe it was bad intel. Well, we won't get anywhere by standing around waiting. Traveler, Paimon, let's go ask around. Excuse me, good sir. Do you by any chance know a
Excuse
Gemma?
me, good sir.
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiance? Sure I do. What's this about?
I'm just trying to get a hold of her because I need her help with something.
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. Ever since Caesar passed
Ui,
away,
será que é
she's coming here once every week to clean his
será que é a
grave.
noiva dela?
Often
quer
she
fazer
just
vingança
sits there in front of his headstone.
Pelo o marido
Lost in
dela ter
thought.
morrido?
Sometimes she talks to herself. I asked her what she was doing once. She said she wanted to speak to him again.
Mas será que ele morreu ou tornou-se água? É porque se ele se tornou água, tecnicamente ele agora é um oceanide, entre aspas.
She knows
Digo
he's
eu, não
gone
sei.
and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there, telling her
Ok,
fiancé
isso
all
no
about how
Genshin
her
não é
life is
propriamente
going.
verdade, porque temos personagens que já conseguiram falar connosco ou com outros que, pelo túmulo ou pela uma fonte. Literalmente temos o exemplo do Oceanid da Quest.
And she's been doing this ever since Caesar passed away?
I'll bet.
Eu acho que
Caesar's
eu não sei se
reputation
foi
fell
ela,
apart after his identity
mas
was
era
revealed,
muito clichê se
so no one
fosse.
else visits his grave.
É porque normalmente,
Gemma's the only
o
one
meu
who
marido
still thinks
morreu,
about him
vou
after
obter
all these
vingança, blá 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 blá. Basicamente é esse o plot na maior parte dos filmes.
I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, I'm sure Caesar must be grateful to have someone who remembers him fondly. If I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a low-life crook. He doesn't deserve someone like her.
Ui, esta frase. Ele não merece alguém como ela. Das duas, uma. Ou ele gosta da mulher do outro. Ui. Minha teoria, honestamente, acho que tudo isto é injusto sobre a própria Gemma. O noivo dela era um trapaceiro de quinta categoria. Ou seja, ele não gostava propriamente dele. E se ele achava... Ui, o microfone. E se ele achava que era injusto ela levar com isto tudo porque o marido dela não a merecia, eu acho que ele deve ter aí uma quedinha por ela.
Anyway,
Não quero
all of that
mentir,
said,
mas...
she's running later than usual today. Normally, she'd be sitting in front of his grave by now.
Ainda por cima ele
She's okay.
ele sabe tipo, que ela vai para ali, que ela fica...
Well, that's everything I know, I'm
sus.
afraid. You might have more luck asking some other people.
All
É,
right, well, thanks for sharing all of this with
Other
us.
people.
We'll keep asking around.
You're welcome. I just hope she'll be able to move on one day.
ui, não, ele gosta dela. Ele gosta dela. Só espero que ela consiga seguir em frente um dia. Não, ele gosta dela. Aquele suspiro não engana ninguém. Nah. Gracia.
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom Weasel's back.
As fofocas. Mesmo fofoqueiros.
You're kidding. Wait, isn't he dead?
I don't know anymore. All
Mesmo à
sorts of
frente do
news
túmulo
flying
dele.
around
Engraçado.
nowadays. I can never tell what's true and what isn't. But what if, just hypothetically, I mean, what if this weasel's the real deal and Caesar was framed?
Pois, também pode ser isso. Também pode ser esse o caso, que a Doninha seja outra pessoa e não o Caesar.
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar I knew was a good guy. He gave balloons to children on the street, for Pete's sake. What, are we supposed to believe that he was a balloon thief or something? Give me a break.
Epá, esse argumento também não é propriamente dos melhores. Ele distribuía balões para as crianças na rua. E o que é que tem? Ele, lá por distribuir balões para as crianças não significa que ele não seja um ladrão.
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all,
Meu
that
Deus.
gosh darn lousy son of a, you think you know a guy, or words to that effect.
Meu Deus.
Wait, did I say that?
Rude.
I don't seem to recall.
Hello
É
there.
falso.
Sorry for disturbing you, but I couldn't help but notice you were discussing the Phantom Weasel.
Mas o LYNEY é tão pequenininho.
We're actually quite interested in this topic as well, but we're struggling to get to the bottom of it. Do you think you could spare a moment to tell us a little bit about Caesar?
You've come to the right people. Yep, I was there. Back when Caesar used to perform magic tricks on the street. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly out
What?
from the
Queria ver
inside.
isso. What? Estourar um balão transparente e dentro dele voarem várias pombas. What?
I was right up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me, I still don't have the faintest clue how.
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show, and he'd hand them out after he was done. Sometimes,
Ou seja, ele
he even
aparentava
got
ser
the
uma
kids
boa
to write their
pessoa.
wishes down, and then he'd make the items on the wish list appear in his next show.
Lá está, ele parecia ser uma boa pessoa para as crianças, mas se calhar para o resto...
He doesn't sound like such a
A cena
bad guy.
é que a Charlotte disse que o ladrão não era como o dos filmes, que roubava aos ricos e dava aos pobres. Ele era uma pessoa que roubava aos ricos e os pobres. Ele roubava tanto uns como os outros, ou seja, é um pouco estranho uma pessoa oferecer às crianças presentes, tipo no show, e depois ele roubar outras crianças. Das duas uma, ou ele fazia isso para desviar as atenções dele, o que não deu muito certo porque ele acabou por morrer e por ser preso ou morrer, whatever, ou então ele foi incriminado erradamente.
But
O que
after
é
he
muito
died,
provável.
there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was
Porque até
precious to
agora
people,
o que dá a
with the
entender é que
intent
ele
to
foi
steal it
tipo
later.
preso injustamente. Preso não, ele acusado, no caso, porque ele acho que não chegou a ser preso. Ele morreu, no caso.
As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from anyone.
Pois. É o que ela está a dizer, tipo, o ladrão roubava praticamente qualquer coisa de qualquer pessoa.
Whatever the case, now that the weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic. I bet Gemma must be pleased. If Caesar's name gets cleared, maybe it'll finally give her some solace after all this time. No, speak of the devil. That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
So that's Gemma. Is it just Paimon, or
Ai,
does
que
it look
linda.
like something's wrong? Wait, it looks like she's injured.
Está machucada? Que NPCs lindos. Os NPCs de Fontaine estão muito lindos. A cara é toda a mesma, mas o resto está bem giro.
You're Gemma, right?
Toda de preto, toda de luz.
Who's asking?
Ui, ela é velha. Ela é velha.
Don't be afraid, we mean no harm.
A voz dela parecia tipo uma senhora mais velha.
It looks like you're injured.
Oh não.
How bad
Ela
is it?
Oh não.
Thanks for your concern. But you didn't answer my
Queimou-se.
question.
Ela queimou-se, basicamente.
My name is LYNEY, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and this here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he still lives, that you knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the weasel.
Pois normal. Tipo, imagina o que é. Tu estás com uma pessoa durante tanto tempo e do nada ela ser acusada. Tipo, uma ladra. Tipo, é um bocado tipo estranho no mínimo. Imagina, ela nunca deve ter reparado que ele fazia tais coisas. Portanto, ela tanto tempo, está tanto tempo com ele e não ter reparado nisso é muito estranho. Das duas uma, ou é ela ou ele foi mesmo acusado injustamente.
I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember anything strange in the weeks leading up to the accident? Did Caesar have a falling out with anyone, for instance?
No, not that I know of.
Acho que ela também vai se lembrar. Foi há 10 anos.
Got it. All right.
If you don't have any more questions,
Ele
please
fez
leave.
uma pergunta.
I want to be alone with him.
Eles fizeram uma pergunta. What the fuck? Gostaríamos de fazer perguntas. Oi, como está? Pronto,
Definitely
estão feitas
something
as
fishy
perguntas.
about her.
She's lying. She
Óbvio.
definitely knows something.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and started questioning her about things that happened a whole decade ago. It makes, in any case, I doubt we'll get any further here, so let's call it a day. Meet me outside Hotel de Boer tomorrow, and then we'll start the next step of our...
Uma coisa que eu me esqueço, normalmente, é que o LYNEY e a LYNEY são fatuis. Eu esqueço-me disso, por alguma razão. Não que isso tenha muita coisa a ver com esta quest, mas na Archon Quest, eu não tive essa percepção, não me lembrava que eles eram fatuis. E na minha cabeça, tipo, eles eram só tipo umas pessoas a ser acusadas falsamente. O que foi, realmente. Mas eles serem fatuis não ajuda.
Entering standby mode.
Ainda mais depois do escândalo todo que houve. Porque se isto é depois da Archon Quest... Acho que esta quest não está assim tão conectada. Porque... literalmente eles são fatuis. Muito provavelmente as pessoas não vão confiar neles. Porque as pessoas já sabem quem eles são.
Over here!
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. So, we need a contingency plan. Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy businessman with his fingers in a lot of different pies. I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree to a couple of drinks with me.
Ui,
Be
bêbado.
warned, though, I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper.
Pavio curto,
We'd
ui.
best be careful.
É chato já. Vai se irritar facilmente, estou mesmo a ver. Onde é que ele anda? Está aqui dentro.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
Ui, já começa. E mal entramos, já está a reclamar.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former magic maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple...
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Que rabugento, meu. Ai, que raiva. Já me apetece dar um soco.
Get a
Juro.
load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty
Pois.
happy about Linny stroking his ego.
Pois, Paimon, é assim que as pessoas desse tipo funcionam.
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to
Wait,
the
ele é
chase. I
mágico?
have more important things to do than drinking.
Meu Deus.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, the matter I want to address is also related to magic. Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing. Are you trying to tell me you actually bought it?
Ok. Ele também tem um ponto que se calhar até pode ser verdade. Porque imagina, qualquer pessoa pode chegar, escrever uma carta e pôr ali. Qualquer um. O que ele está a dizer tecnicamente não é assim tão errado. Porque, ok, já temos provas que provavelmente o Caesar não era a Doninha. Já é um bocado óbvio. Porque se ele fosse realmente a Doninha, não íamos ter este plot todo a acontecer. Porém, da perspectiva de fora, da perspectiva de um NPC que não sabe tipo, do que nós já ouvimos, ele até está relativamente certo. Porque pode ter sido alguém que escreveu uma carta tipo, para meter medo ou por inveja ou por alguma coisa. E que não vai acontecer nada. Só pôs a carta para, tipo, para agitar as águas. Como se costuma dizer. Para tipo, agitar as pessoas. Pô, também pode ser isso. O problema é que nós já temos noção de que o Caesar não é a Doninha. Tipo, é impossível ele ser a Doninha. Senão não estávamos a ter estas conversas todas. Eu concordo que existe a possibilidade que seja um imitador.
Possibility? It's a fact, Linny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you.
Ui, rude.
The Weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But my pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me—
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity.
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really care about
Meu
your
Deus, mas
magician's pride,
o voice
then
actor
you'll
dele é
forget
muito
about
bom.
Caesar and move on.
O do NPC é muito bom. O do LYNEY também é óbvio. Mas o do NPC é muito bom. Estou chocado.
Uh-oh. This is getting awkward.
This is getting awkward.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you!
Tá
I
bêbado.
know that big, booming voice anywhere. What's up, my man? Want to grab a drink with me?
Ele está muito bêbado.
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, come on. You can't be all business all the time.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my face.
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hot. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being, what, pushing 40, 30, something? Anyway,
Ok, calma,
point
estamos a
is,
ter aqui um ponto forte na história. Ele foi rejeitado pela única mulher que ele gostava. Aposto que a mulher que ele gosta é a Gema. Tenho quase certeza. Mas a Gema tem 3 homens atrás dela. Ou, no caso 2, porque um está morto.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again.
Miguel está bêbado, ele não te vai ouvir. Ele está bêbado, ele não te vai ouvir. Se a mulher que ele gosta é a Gema, tá, acho que temos aqui meio caminho andado para perceber quem é a Doninha.
Sorry, I may have had a little too much to drink. All right, I'm gonna leave. Don't work too hard.
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, LYNEY, be my guest.
Oi.
But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Suspect.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion. Any thoughts?
Temos dois suspeitos até ao momento. O gajinho do... aquele que conhece a Gema. E este. Até agora temos esses dois. Na minha cabeça, este é mais suspeito. Agora, ainda por cima, se a mulher que ele gosta é a Gema...
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses?
Dinheiro,
What
Paimon,
someone
dinheiro.
you just met make an offer like that? He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
E a Gema, a própria Gema também é uma suspeita, supostamente. Mas a Paimon agora disse uma coisa que tem razão. Tipo, ele do nada... Ele disse para o LYNEY não se preocupar com isso, porque se acontecesse alguma coisa, ele recompensava-o. Isso é um bocado suspeito, porque... Ele está-se a contradizer um bocado, porque ele mesmo disse que não ia acontecer nada.
I think so
Muito
too.
suspeito, muito
We
suspeito.
need to look into Lorenzo more closely.
Muito
That guy
suspeito.
Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He
Pois.
only just left.
Vamos falar com ele. E temos que descobrir qual é a mulher que ele gosta, porque se for a Gema, já vamos ter tudo explicado. Olha isto. Já resgatei. Encontro o Edmundo. Isto está para subir? What? Isto está para subir? Eu não sabia que estava para subir aqui em cima. Que lindo! What? Eu não sabia disto. Olha. O que é que me vai dar? Um livro? Sim. 3 comidas. Obrigado, senhor. Vou-me mandar daqui. Vamos. Meu Deus, eu acho que eu nunca tinha ido lá para cima. Onde é que ele está? Meu Deus, ele está mesmo bêbado. Oh, Edmundo!
You okay there?
Não, ele está bêbado.
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I must have had one too many. I say way too
Bebe
much
água,
back
bebe
there,
água.
didn't I?
Água
Yeah, I nearly talked
ajuda na
myself into
ressaca.
complete financial ruin. Note to self, no more drunken chats when Lorenzo's around.
Pois.
So, he was serious?
Eu acho que é melhor
about
não fazeres
letting
nada
you
enquanto ele
off?
estiver por perto.
Ugh,
Fica na
I knew he
tua.
was a bad egg.
Hey! Keep your voice down. Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions. Make
Ui.
an enemy out of him.
What kind of bad thing?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to... And take it from me. Trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there.
Pois, o problema é que nós somos o Traveler e queremos ter problemas com ele. Portanto, é bom que fales. Percebes?
That's not a good sign. You're too young for this.
And there he goes.
Shh! I think we're being watched. Don't say anything and don't look
Ui.
back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guard.
Ué, quem é que não te está a seguir? Não vejo ali ninguém. Saia da cidade. Meu Deus! Tão longe. Oh não, estamos com um ping. Na quest não faz muita diferença.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
Ui, a
So
máfia.
you're LYNEY. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today?
Passino, o cara lisa. Eles são todos. Cara lisa.
Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister. Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions,
Paimon,
Missy.
armada em boa.
You ain't gonna need answers where
Ai,
you're
adorei.
going. Capiche?
Capim com rei. Ah,
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me.
Don't worry, we got
eu
this.
adoro ele a dizer que não é o strongest fighting. Meanwhile, ele a ser o meu melhor DPS da minha conta. Vamos testar o LYNEY. Qual build é que ele está? Noblice. Noblice, C... Oh meu Deus, C3. Eu quero. Espera aqui. Você pode ter até 2 chapéus do gato ao mesmo tempo. Além disso, a flecha mágica atinge o inimigo. Ah. Interessante.
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Claro.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work.
Come on, let's scram.
Que mulher. Foi com a gema.
Wise guys, we ain't through with you yet. Oh, they got away. Did you catch what they said? Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic. And they've already... You're right. She was injured when we
Pois,
saw her. Maybe
muito
she
provavelmente
was
foi
too
a gema.
scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore.
Não vai haver domain nesta quest?
Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from
Normalmente
her.
temos um domainzinho. Lá para o fundo, para o cafezinho com a gema. Café com gema. Isso não ficou uma combinação muito boa. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Ah, a LYNEY foi tentar ganhar a confiança dela. Wait, elas são bem parecidas. O cabelo delas são bem parecidos.
Gemma?
Gema?
You again.
Diogo.
What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and so you can...
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they...
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every
Ui.
fiber of my being.
Eu aposto que são os capangas do Lourenço.
It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid.
Yeah, é o Lourenço. O Lourenço, de certeza absoluta.
How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this, because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance.
Okay.
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde.
Le
The
Frobesonde.
place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since.
Ui.
I
Acho que não
also
vai
know
dar.
that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care.
Got it.
Ah,
But if
é
I'm
o
staying
domain.
I mean,
Eu tava a dizer que
bon
ainda não
appetit,
tinha havido
but
domain,
stay
certo?
sharp,
Vai
too.
ser o domain,
They're
provavelmente.
likely to come.
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Yep, é o domain, tenho quase certeza. Oh my god, isto aqui embaixo é muito fixe. Tem quest aqui. Tem quest. Alguma world quest que eu não tenha apanhado. É porque normalmente eu marco no mapa antes. Tipo, eu tenho aqui uma no mapa. Aqui supostamente está uma. Eu não apanhei. Ai, uma tartaruguinha! Ela tem tatuagens! Que fixe! Vamos tirar aqui um princinho para pôr na thumb do vídeo. Aí está a foto. Vou fazer assim. Assim ou assim? Acho que assim. Assim, tá bom. Agora, depois. Pronto. Lindo, maravilhoso. É cá ao fundo. Eu acho que ainda não tinha vindo para aqui. Eu nem sei se isto tem baús aqui embaixo. Eu ainda nem vi. Não vi nada ainda. Ui, uma carta. Boa. Ali é ali. Wait, what? Aqui? Eu achava que era
If Gemma
domain.
gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the...
Ah, ok.
There we go. It should be just down here.
Ok, é o domain, já. Yes, domain. Oh, que lindos. Domainzinho. Significa que a quest já está a acabar. Eu achava que íamos ter tipo a Archon Quest, aquele minigame de investigação. Achava. Que ambiente. Ok, temos que ver se há baús. Baús. Temos de estar atentos aos baús. Ai, a música! Ah, que linda! Baú? Ai, não consegui ir para ali. Não, aqui não tem baú. Com cedo acho que é estranho ter baú. Ah, a parede está partida ao meio. Vem baúzinho. Quero baú, quero primus. What the fuck is this? O que é isto? Que fixe!
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious
Oh my
here,
god,
just
a rodar
normal
as...
magic props.
Ai, não!
Let's go further.
Óbvio que eu ia cair. Era óbvio. Como é que está este? Está igual. Tá. Noblesse. C3. Baú? Nada. Dá para arrebentar? Oh my god, estes balões são indestrutíveis, adoro. Não há baú.
What was that? Oh,
Ai, que fofo!
one of Caesar's
Oh my god,
gadgets?
cute! Que
guess we must have
fofinho!
triggered some sort of device.
Ataca as bonecas para mobilizá-las. Ah, ok. Deixa eu ver se há baú. Oi, tem aqui uma porta. Gostei. Ok, gostei. Ok, acho que aqui vai ser o nosso... Ai, não dá. Vou tirar aqui o print. Opa, eles deviam mudar isso. Devia dar para tirar fotos dentro dos domains, tipo... Wait, deixa eu ver se com a câmera dá. Onde é que tá? Este. Não é possível usar no domain, pois. Ai, que estupidez. Que tontinhos. Gosto da música.
Adventure time.
O meu mesmo assim dá mais dano. Mas também então quando puseram noblesse no boneco, coitado. Podiam ter posto pelo menos 9.
Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing.
What the fuck is going on? Ah, é para abrir a porta. Toma,
There's
toma.
something written on the card on this doll. Let's take
Não há
a closer
baú.
look.
Eu quero um baú. Ah, dá para subir daqui. Oh não, acho que buguei. Buguei? Não. Buguei. Tem que ter baú. Ai, que comichão no olho. Ai, o meu olho. Ai, credo. Pronto, já está. É lá, o meu olho ficou todo brusquinho. Ativar, bora. Que lindo. Oh my god. Ok, aqui tem mais escadas. Eu sei que não é para aqui, mas eu gosto de explorar estas
Looks
coisas.
like we've reached the end of this route. Shall we try a
Este
different
tamanho
one?
está lindo. Olha para... Oh, que lindo. Genshin. Genshin nunca falha. Quer dizer, nos 50-50s até falha um bocadinho, mas de resto, mapas e música, fogo. Pois, não há aqui nada mesmo. Estes são sítios muito escondidos para ver baú, normalmente os baús estão mais à vista. É isto.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
É esta aqui. Ok, acertei. Com o azul, acertei. Basicamente é que está a brilhar, não é assim tão difícil. É aquela, ok. A do meio. Esta. Ok, aqui. Esta. Que fixe! Isso é uma porta secreta! E eu vou para onde? Para a esquerda. Meu Deus, não há um único baú. Normalmente há tipo 3 baús. Tipo, são commons, ok, mas são baús. Oh meu Deus, que fixe. Ai, que fixe. Estou a tirar print de tudo. O problema é que não dá para tirar foto. Estamos dentro de uma caixa. Baú? Não. Vou começar.
That's
Estou com
weird.
fome.
Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here.
Nada.
Maybe
Tenho
this was a
500
wasted
livros,
trip.
Paimon.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption.
Huh.
If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere. Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... And...
Prontinho. Uma sala secreta, como é óbvio, já é a terceira sala secreta, adoro.
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike.
Exatamente.
Looks pretty big inside. Let's head in and take a look.
Baú. Baúzinho. As minhas duas primos. Wait. Ah. Baú. Baú. Ui. Oh, outro baú. É lá, assim eu gosto.
And voila! Oh. Step right up.
Lindo. Com lavandas aqui. Buguei. Porta de ressurreição ativada. Temos baú? Não. Uau. Opa, estes são fáceis. Estão a dar bichinhos fáceis para matar.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Now disappear!
Ui, uma magic box.
Why have you stopped, Linny? Is there some...
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys
Eu
go ahead.
acho que o Caesar é o homem que ajudou o LYNEY e a Lynette. Epá, é muito estranho. O LYNEY está sempre a dizer: este caso é importante para mim. E também não devemos esquecer que isto é quest dele. Ou seja, eu acho que esse tal Caesar tem alguma coisa a ver com o LYNEY. Só pode, com o LYNEY e com a Lynette.
If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit.
Por que ele diz rendezvous? Não faz sentido. Tens mais algum baú? Aqui foi por onde... Não, viemos dali, supostamente. Baú? Não. Baúzinho. What the fuck is this? Que é isto? Oh não. Oh não.
Seems like we can't step on the same tile twice. Guess we've got to finish it in one run, huh?
Wait, como é que eu vou fazer isto? Oh não, eu não sou nada bom nisto. Ok, ele vem um para baixo, vai um para cima. Ui. Eu acho que já fiz mal. Ou então não. Ou então não, acertei. Ah, que fixe. Acertei. Oh, dava era um baúzinho. Ah, de novo? Ah, não, ok. Plim! Mais uma porta. Isto é o domínio das portas. Ou que nem para darem-me um baúzinho pelo trabalho.
Wow! There's a hidden room here!
E que lindo.
Let's see. Oh,
Epá, irmão, passado 3 casas secretas é que fica surpreendida.
About the principles of magic.
Encontramos o
This
diário.
book's thick as a brick. Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
Vamos. Ui, 4 coisas sobre as listas de desejos.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole... So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down.
Ah.
Well, they took me up on that offer. Enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around. I wound up saving very little this month. But that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger... 2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised.
Será que é o LYNEY e a
I
LYNEY?
do hope they got home safely.
Provavelmente.
Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2.
Oh my god, é o coisa do LYNEY.
I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to... They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really... They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician
É o
worth
LYNEY e
their
a
salt
LYNEY,
could have
só
taught them
pode.
what I have. They're the geniuses here. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes
Ela
are
não
too
gosta de ficar perto de
piercing.
crianças. Eu.
They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the
Wait,
sharpest
mas a
tool
Gemma
in the
não os
shed.
reconheceu então. A Gemma não conseguiu reconhecer o LYNEY e a LYNEY. Também já foi há muito tempo, mas... Epá, se bem que ela também não estava propriamente perto delas, portanto...
It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the 2 kids if I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have
É
other
o
plans
LYNEY e
for
a
them.
LYNEY. Eles estão a falar... O father
guess we'll be
deles é a
parting ways
Arlequina,
soon.
supostamente.
It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is they hide things from me too. For example, when I ask them where they... That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, I can sense that their lives have been hard. Possibly even dangerous too. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more? P.P.S. Maybe I'm
meu Deus.
overthinking this. Children aren't interested in... Oh, Caesar, Caesar.
2 magic geniuses with a father
Ou
and a
seja,
mission, huh?
ele não é o Doninha. Porque, literalmente, ele não tem nada no próprio diário dele sobre isso. Tipo, ok, porque é que ele escreveria algo tão grave? Mas ao mesmo tempo, acho muito estranho ele não ter dado indícios disso, sequer. O máximo que ele deu foi a dizer que mentiu às crianças. Mas isso até o LYNEY faz.
Sounds a lot like he was writing about LYNEY and Lynette, don't you think?
Para não estragar a fantasia de mágico, ele teve que mentir às crianças.
So
O
did they
problema é que ele
meet
depois
Caesar when they
lixou-se
were
com
kids?
isso, gastando o dinheiro todo.
LYNEY!
Pois, ele conheceu o LYNEY e a Lynette quando eram pequenos. Eram as duas crianças mágicas que ele ajudou. Foi ele.
LYNEY?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy?
All in good time. Before we go over our new first, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy.
Foi assim que ele morreu.
He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real—
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple. Once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trap door onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
É parecido com o truque do LYNEY da caixa, só que em vez de ser no chão é no teto. Por isso é que é ainda mais perigoso.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Entendi.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But unfortunately,
pois lá está, ele também não tinha uma vision. Se calhar se fosse o LYNEY a fazer, ele tendo uma vision, se calhar já seria mais bem sucedido, digo eu.
How did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And sure enough...
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed, because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation
Pois,
at
se ele
hand.
fizesse as coisas da forma tipo canhota, as pessoas iam tipo prestar mais atenção ao facto de ele ser canhoto do que propriamente aos,
But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will,
truques dele.
so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehood, and so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left. Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, but I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where... So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty. His mind needed a moment to... Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two. Until the bot, with the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was
atirou? Ele
due
podia
to his own
simplesmente ter ficado
error.
dentro da caixa.
In reality, someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him. But how would they be able to make
Ah, não, porque a caixa empurra para a frente, pelo que eu percebi. Ah, meu Deus.
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by
ou a
his
gema.
side. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
Ah, pois. Ding, 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 acertei.
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have, but I gave you your chance.
Foste tão
I hoped
óbvio.
you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her?
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even... Which is why you can't leave this place alive.
Ah, pronto. Eu já os matei uma vez, não vou os matar outra vez. É pá, tu és um bocadinho burrinho no mínimo. Oh, pumba. Só um é, já foram todos. Tchau. Toma. Uau, que difícil.
Let's get it on. Ha, you mean?
Now disappear. Let's get this show on the road.
Tumba. Pancada na testa.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know...
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolize Caesar. He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today.
So it was jealousy.
jealousy. Hatred, more like. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought... He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in... I had to kill him. There was no other way.
And this was your only motive?
Mood. It was reason enough. What other motive?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to...
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then.
I am.
Meu Deus. Confessou?
Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way.
Também já não tem nada a perder,
The
não
sole
é?
purpose of magic was... I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft.
What the fuck? Eu
It was
roubava
other
coisas
people's
baratas
overactive
para
imaginations
praticar.
that conjured up the preposterous image they...
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaw. So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years. The likes of which Caesar...
Very well. In that case, Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me.
Baú! Desgraçado. Toma aí, ó. Bomba. Tchau, do mais lindo.
LYNEY has told me the whole... Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him?
Look who's What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it. Because...
Looks
Well,
like
foi
it's all
fácil.
over. What should we do next, LYNEY? Should we start...
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo and
Good point! We should go tell Gemma the good news, right?
Já, Paimon cagou completamente para a gema. Gema, horário.
Ah, you're back.
Ah, you're back. Ela é bem
You were
robótica, eu
so
adoro.
quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything
Ew.
in moderation.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's...
Point.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into...
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
Oh, tadinha.
It's okay. We understand. He did threaten you, but you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's...
Sorry. sorry. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me.
Coitado.
And then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So, thank you all.
De nada, pá. Só dá-me assim uns 50 wishes e ficamos quites.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this... At least his soul can finally rest in peace now.
If only I'd really...
Don't blame yourself, Gemma.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't...
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like this show will be a special one?
In Caesar's honor. Thank you.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show.
Free magic show.
Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something.
Esquecemos do quê?
Oh, yes!
Esquecemos do quê? Não li! Eu não li! Faz mal. Às 18 do dia seguinte. Meu Deus, quase 2 horas de quest. Jesus Cristo. Tenho sigils? Tenho. Vou dar aqui um sigils à fundo.
Surprise!
Surprise! Surprise! Plim! Que linda!
Over here!
Segue o bonde, segue o bonde. Vem aí o show, vem aí o show. A Charlotte ali.
Paimon's excited to see another of LYNEY's magic shows!
Yay! Ah, wait!
Wait,
Por que a Linha está sentada?
Not this time. My brother's going solo, so I'll be watching with you.
Ah,
Good
ok.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. The great magician LYNEY has prepared a spectacular...
Thank you all so much for coming. Now,
Ui, vai ter aquele truque da caixa.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just...
no wonder. Caesar was a famous magician, so how did you...
Well, I was out on children love magic because they're willing to believe in things that can't be, and somehow I felt drawn to him too.
Aw, that sounds so romantic.
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and
É o mesmo que o LYNEY fez ao Traveler.
I was so happy.
Oh, that's so cute.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic after all. You never know when the people dearest to you might...
That's right. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort...
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now.
See? Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What?
What do you...
As LYNEY once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role.
Wait, what?
And put on a flawless performance for their But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
O plot twist! O plot twist! Wait!
What are you talking
Wait,
about?
what?
Paimon doesn't like this, Rip. Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something!
Afinal, era ela. Eu tô chocado.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying. There will now be a brief intermission, after which LYNEY will perform. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places. Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon.
What? What? Eu tô muito chocado. Eu tô muito chocado.
Surprise!
Eu bem que achei que o outro confessou muito facilmente.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid this is a big mistake for a magician to make. But
LYNEY? Don't we have more important... Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment...
all in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know...
Really?
What?
Well then,
Eu tô muito à toa.
dying of curiosity here.
Como assim? Wait, faz sentido porque se o Lourenço estava apaixonado pela Gemma desde o início. Meu Deus, eu tô muito
Let's go back to the
estranho.
very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine, she never missed. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to... After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So, being the master deceiver she was, the Weasel easily earned Caesar's trust.
What?
Now, all that remained was to frame, but as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the Weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even... But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought...
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the Weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his
Pois, ele foi
confession,
direto demais.
as if there was something else he was trying to
Literalmente
hide.
ele disse, sim, sou eu. Tipo, eu não ia confessar assim do nada. Ai, ai, ai. Ele não ia confessar assim do nada. Era muito estranho.
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want.
Amiga, nós já percebemos que estás a mentir, portanto para de atuar.
Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you, who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's—
Wait, so you mean the whole— but why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end and—
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, LYNEY, if you're so confident in having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained—
An excellent answer. Though sadly—
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real Weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real Weasel left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage
Óbvio que
to
o vilão
draw
tem que ter sempre uma
using
história
twigs
triste, não
and
é? Já é
dirt for
bocado
lack of
clichê.
ink and pen. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true. And it will fill—
That's some pretty—
Now does this story satisfy you?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear—
Huh. That's right. What? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history— LYNEY. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Stillish. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it
Bem
quite clear in the
cutscene.
letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Wait. Oh, I get it.
Aquelas
You were
duas
those two
crianças
obnoxious
irritantes.
kids. It's been so— He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds and his legacy was thrown out. But we did not forget.
And? What exactly did you take from me?
Free? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night—
What are you trying to say?
Vais presa, amiga.
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole. Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years.
Yep.
You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never...
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Mudo. Ela agora não tem o Lorenzo, não
Your
tem ninguém.
freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world...
Gather round, one and all. The time has now... I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale. Well...
A high-altitude escape?
Oh, no.
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very... But we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real weasel has now...
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people
Meu
watching
Deus,
tonight,
afinal era o Lourenço e a Gemma. Tecnicamente eu estava certo.
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So,
Ela tentou usar a carta reversa, mas não funcionou.
doing now?
Like
Ela
Lenny said,
tentou.
when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
Deixa aí
She'll figure
sozinha.
out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see...
Alright. Well, let's...
Sim, ele tem vision. Tecnicamente ela há de ficar bem. Wait. Ah, é por ali. Wait, what? Porquê é que me está a mandar para fora? Porquê é que me está a mandar para fora da ópera? Não devia ser tipo para o palco? Ah, ok. Oh, não. Oh, não. Cutscene?
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work.
Muito alto, muito alto, muito alto.
Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright.
Que fofinha! Já print.
We're sorry.
Oh, you Caesars.
But we can't tell you the whole truth.
Ai, que fo... que
Do you still remember
fofinhos.
what I told you? This
Oh
world
my
is full of
God.
lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Linny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape?
Aquilo é bem alto.
10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Mysterious.
5-star.
Surprising. And logic defying. Isn't that right? This honor
Que
belongs to
cutscene bonita.
I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Let's go. Ganda cutscene. Ganda cutscene. Que lindo!
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician LYNEY has fulfilled a wish on his behalf.
Melhor personagem de Fontaine. Period. Period.
Looks like everyone really loved LYNEY's grand finale.
Vamos agora aumentar aqui o som do jogo. Mas aquela cutscene estava extremamente alta. Tive que baixar, senão...
Paimon doesn't see LYNEY anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual haunt. But, where is that? Oh, you mean the one where he's... Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like LYNEY's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. Alright, let's go look for him there.
Meu Deus, que fixe. Que cutscene boa.
Over here!
Oi, lindo.
LYNEY! There you are. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horrible.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or...
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop.
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him. I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic, but I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind us. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician...
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us. In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, but in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer... What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating. Oh, trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly...
LYNEY...
Tadinho.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death. That night, I remembered his smile. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
Yeah, cheer up, LYNEY. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey. Delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this and all the unhappy... You know, Traveler, doesn't that kind of make you Paimon's truth?
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's why the darkness never consumed me and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we... Alright. Time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight?
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation.
Foi tão bom. Foi tão bom. Foi muito melhor do que aquela da caixa. Foi muito boa.
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decided.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something.
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your...
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have...
3, 2, 1.
Olha hidróculos.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere else.
Really? Let's see.
Ah, ele agora usa rosas. Por causa do significado.
There it is! Oh, this is a tip, but more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done.
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start...
Fine.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of...
Is that it?
Ah, look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night.
Ai, eu tô cansadinho já.
To seeing you again.
Esta quest chupou-me a energia toda.
Alright, fine. Shall we head back down too?
Period. Ganda quest.
Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird to... Let's head to the Steambird's offices to...
As duas flores. Agora são duas. Que fofinho. Ok, agora é a entrevista e acho que acaba, né? Pelo amor de Deus, já vamos com 2 horas de quest. Meu Deus. Tá aqui.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Ah.
Oh, please, LYNEY, I'll only take a moment if you...
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was but just as dawn broke, I suddenly received...
That was...
Too late, bro. That was quick, you say? It sounds like... Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time.
Huh. Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart.
Well...
Oh, I remember now! You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. Quickfire question, where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and LYNEY did a private magic, actually. Glad you mentioned it. Because that reminds Paimon, guess what?
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
Temos novo crush. Habemos novo crush.
No, I just...
What the... What now? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about Gemma has already made waves. and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. Alright, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Bye, Charlotte. Bye, Charlotte.
Don't worry, I wasn't angry.
Oh, really?
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you...
Oh, ok. Acabamos! Finalmente. Que quest enorme! É linda? É, mas é gigante.